Hey, what's good, Denver? How are you? We're back. It's been a few weeks, and we're back in the podcast chair. This time, Troy is no longer with the show. I mean, it's going to be impossible to replace the guy because ultimately he is the most knowledgeable Los Angeline about Denver, Colorado in the world. So I don't
hmm
know Tom, what are we going to do?
I don't know. It's gonna be hard to replace Troy, but we'll still honor him through some amazing Good Boy Troy music tracks throughout the episodes, and you know we'll try to keep up with his amazing social media posting cadence. But we're gonna be struggling without a doubt.
We're gonna be struggling hard. I know. I was already thinking about that. I was like, oh man, Troy's so good with those edits. How are we gonna how are we gonna follow that? But it's so much fun working with Troy. So wish him the best,
Yeah,
and we'll see if we can convince him to come back somewhere down the road.
definitely. We'll have some guest slots opened up for Troy without a doubt.
No doubt, man. So I got a bunch on the slate, but Tom, man, what you been doing the last couple of weeks?
Oh man, I've been all over the place. Did a little bit of traveling, been, getting things together, been doing some new jobs here and there, some contract work. So I've been all over. I've been doing some podcast stuff. I've been doing some contracting work. So I've been all over. Did some traveling for a wedding. I was over in New Jersey just last week, and it was a good break in between seasons here to just get some personal stuff done and reset a little bit. What about you?
Totally. Yeah, take back Tuesday afternoons a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Same. High school football for my son wrapped up. Go South Ravens. They ended up the season in a pretty good way. They had a monster comeback victory against the Blue Bisons, respect to that like classic franchise, and then they beat East last week to kind of end the season on a high note. And it was pretty cool. Like there's like a national rivalry series that like the U.S. Army promotes, and the Southeast game was chosen as one of these games, so it was kind of like a bowl game.
Cool.
So they got a big trophy at the end. They all got championship hats. It was really cool to see. So, high school football is just it's so much fun. I mean, my son's going to be a senior this year, so it's like, oh man, you start counting down the games. It's like, well, that was junior season's over, so it was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Nice. That's cool. So,
Yeah,
what's up next? Basketball,
yeah, he's not a basketball guy. He's got track, but
track.
track is a tough spectator sport in the spring. One, it's cold. Two, it's like a 4 hour vibe when you're like, when are you running? He's like, well, I'm running at 2:30 and then at 5:30. So it's like you got to
You're
bring like
sitting
a
around a
pillow
lot.
and yeah, bring a pillow and a sleeping bag and just hang out. So,
Yeah.
we've got some downtime, and it's been interesting because, since I think it's maybe been 5 or 6 weeks since we recorded a podcast, in that time, I mean, sports just unbelievable. The Nuggets are looking great. I'm loving your Nuggets shirt there. Although, is that a
Oh yeah.
mashup or is that a legit Nuggets shirt?
This is a Lewis the Child
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nuggets shirt, so it's just a play on your classic Nuggets shirt, but this was their Red Rock shirt, I think, for their 2021 show. So
Heck
yeah,
yeah.
it's definitely a
Respect.
mashup, but still pretty fresh. I had to wear it for the. Yeah, you got the Red Rocks, Red Rocks logo.
Yeah.
Solid
So,
merch.
man. Yeah, but I mean, so we'll pick up and talking about the Nuggets. There's a lot of storylines there. The Broncos are absolutely killing it. So, good time for Colorado sports the last couple of weeks. How about
hmm
shows? You go to any shows?
Oh yeah, what's the last thing I went to? I did a couple Red Rocks shows. We did Tape B. That was one of the best ones that I've seen recently. That's an all bass show. He does a lot of hip hop rap remixes into some dirty bass drops. So did that. There's always shows on the radar coming up or things to see. So um, I don't have anything too specific coming up right now, especially within the next week or so. Just some like more local small events, but I've played a couple DJ sets here and there. I did a sold out show at Bluebird, so that was pretty dope.
Sick.
Um, but yeah, that's kind of. I haven't been doing anything too crazy. I slowed down a little bit over the last few weeks from promoting my own shows and just been hopping on other events here and there. So it's
That's cool.
it's been nice to have a little break from that.
The Bluebird show, man, when that place is full, that's a fun place, man.
Yeah, it's like between 500 and 600 people. It was packed out, and I was the direct support for the headliner. So like by the time I got on, everyone was already there. It was completely full, and
Sick.
it was definitely a fun show. Fully packed out, lights, video wall, everything. So it was really
Nice.
cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and they enjoyed us. So
Killer.
we'll be back there for sure.
Hell yeah. Nice, man.
Hmm.
So here in a few, we've got a guest scheduled, and I
Okay.
reached out to confirm, so I don't know if he'll be showing up, but Bart Wilson from VPix 360 is going to be here to talk about a couple of his businesses. He's also old school radio Denver guy, so we'll see if he pops in. But before we get to that, Tom, did you have any developing Denver? Do you have any stuff you wanted to review on the podcast today?
I do. I got some stuff down, um, and kind of the main developing Denver issue right now or topic of discussion is the vibrant Denver bond, which everyone should have been voting on. I think today's the last day to submit your ballots for
Yeah,
that.
today's the day.
So um, why don't we just dive into it a little bit? There's a really great article from our friends at Developing Denver. That's developingmycity.com. And I have an article linked here that we'll throw into the description, just all about it so that you can fully understand. I mean, if you've already, voted, you probably have a good idea as to what's going on here. But, five separate ballot measures, 2A through 2E, um, together authorizing nearly $1 billion in capital investment for transportation, parks, health facilities, libraries, and cultural sites, and also housing and shelter around the city. Here, Ryan, actually, I know that we don't have our own sheet together, so I'll send this over to you in our Zoom chat so that you can
Oh, cool.
follow along. Um, but yeah, this is a huge, huge undertaking for the city, and our voters are the ones pushing it through. There's some different sections that can be approved or disapproved, but essentially, over the next few years, I think it's something like the next 5 to 10 years, this is what this is going to be covering. But from what I understand, there won't be a raise in the tax rate. It's going to be, purposed through already existing taxes, and there's going to be debt taken on from investors and stuff to facilitate this, but there shouldn't be any additional taxes to do this stuff. There's a ton of things that they're going to be trying to work on here. They have a map on the Developing Denver site of like all the proposed project sites and stuff. It basically, what it means is more construction everywhere. If
Yeah. Well, and it's a lot of like improvements on like old and kind of failing infrastructure.
mm-hmm.
So, some of that stuff, I mean, you drive underneath the underpasses and it's a little sketch. You see like the concrete's failing away and there's like, rust coloration under there. So it's supposed to get a lot of that. Like parks are being refreshed, libraries, rec centers. So it's a
Yeah.
lot of like the really kind of good civic stuff, I think, on this bond initiative. I mean, it is massive. So it's kind of weird, where it's like, oh, we have a $250 million budget deficit, but we're just going to go ahead and sign off on this $950 million,
Yeah,
you know,
right. Like how
like,
who knows where it all comes from. Somebody, more educated than us would be able to tell you all that, but you're looking at 441 million for transportation and mobility, 175 million for parks and recreation, um, health and human services $30 million, um, cultural and city facilities $244 million. That's your libraries, cultural venues and city assets, animal shelters, first responder, public safety training, American Indian Cultural Embassy, like a bunch of stuff for that. That's one of the more significant sizes. And then you have housing and shelter. There's looks like they have some animal shelters included in this, but affordable housing project developments. I mean, it's just obviously a bunch of maintenance and upkeeping stuff that the city ultimately needs. And I'm sure that it's going to end up going through. I think every time I see one of these ballot measures, they end up going through. And
Yeah. But they know how to trigger the right language, you know. It's like, we'll fix things you use every day, but we won't raise taxes.
yeah.
However, we will use the property tax mills that you pay for decades to pay for it.
Hmm.
But ultimately, I mean, you know, creative financing, I think if it benefits everybody, you know, you gotta make sure the place looks nice.
Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. So read up on that. If you've already voted, you probably know what's going on today. It is the last day at like 7 p.m. So by the time people hear this on podcast players, maybe someone's live streaming and they're getting their motivation to go drop off their ballot. So who knows? But there's
Totally.
there's that, and then the other developing Denver thing that I want to talk about was just kind of news and an update on housing prices. Denver rent going down. We're coming down from the high here. So um, the hottest fall trend. And this is a story from nakeddenver.com, one of our other developing Denver sources. Asking rents prices are dropping 1.2% in September, the sharpest monthly decline since late 2024. Analysts expecting 2.2% year-end decrease. 53% of apartment communities are now offering concessions, which is usually like a free month or, free 6 weeks. They are really trying to get people in.
Yeah.
Look at this. Some neighborhoods and some buildings offering up to 14 weeks of free rent.
Wow.
So now is a better time to move than ever. Um, Vacancies are nearing 6%. Market's still working through record vacancies near 6%, which, I know there's a ton of new apartments being built, but I think that kind of like moving into Denver is slowing down at the moment, but obviously they know that it's going to be picking back up in the future. But right now, we're kind of in a little sweet spot for people who already live here because,
Yeah.
availability is up and vacancy is up as well. So they're offering lots of free concessions for people to get in. Prices have gone down a little bit. So if you were planning on moving soon, it's probably a good time to start looking at that. Um,
Yeah, you know, and it seems like the market needed to have a fix for some time. You know, just the
yeah,
rents were getting crazy. The prices were of real estate, you know, in Denver getting going crazy. The prices of restaurants, you know, not to be complaining, but I think you hear that echoed a lot. You know, I saw another story too that was saying Denver has the biggest differential of people who stopped spending money on restaurants. It was like 6%,
yeah,
which I think was number one in the country,
sure.
where going out $100. So, you know, they went out the next month, they spent $94, which was kind of a big differential. So definitely spending patterns and maybe moving patterns are changing a little bit in Denver just to even out the market a little bit because boy, were they at premiums.
Yeah, absolutely. And just listen to some of these move-in concessions. Um, Revival on Platt offering up to 12 weeks free base rent plus $1,000 bonus for quick applicants. Um, then you have the Vixen Apartments listing 25% off rent for the first 10 months. Um, Akin in the Golden Triangle giving two residents the chance to win $50,000 in cash or 1 year of free rent in an exclusive sweepstakes. Um, One River North, 12 weeks free, included in base rent on a 16-month lease for anyone who moves in before the new year. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just insane, some of these stuff. Madison at the Fillmore Copperleaf, up to 12 weeks free and $1,000 application bonus. So they are just begging people to get in here. Um, which, that's how you get the good deals. I got a really great rate on my last apartment off of something similar, and it seems like the deals are only getting better. So,
Killer.
good news for anyone who's already here. And
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Aiken Capital too. They reached out last week. I gave them a shout out in the newsletter this week because they're doing a free rent sweepstakes too. They have a brand new apartment building. There's like 55 units, And so they're doing these like sweepstakes. That must be like a good way to get people at least to come in and check it out. I mean, their properties look amazing.
Yeah,
So,
fifty
you
thousand
know,
dollars in cash for living somewhere. I mean, that's pretty cool.
that would be awesome.
That's probably
Yeah,
like 2 years free rent if you win the sweepstakes. So
I'm saying, amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, it's cool. And I mean, ski season's almost here, so like, all the people become pouring back in, and we'll see. But this seems to be kind of like a reoccurring theme. Like Denver skews very young, and a lot of people are using it kind of like as a 2, 3 year plan. It'll be interesting if with some of these bond initiatives, they're investing in kind of schools and stuff downtown that like you if you put a couple more schools in there, people start having kids and like they're sticking around.
yeah,
But we'll
definitely,
see.
definitely. And then I got a couple events just to kind of breeze through. Got First Friday this week, highlighting
Yeah.
the 5 Points First Friday. Um, Here, Ryan, let me send you some links here so that you can see. Actually, I'm gonna send you this. I'm gonna share you the anyone with the link viewer, and then we'll get a new sheet going here so that we can be on top of our game
Heck yeah.
with what's going on. There we go. So, 5 Points First Friday. It's a new initiative that they're doing around 5 Points. Their First Fridays are going to be a lot more involved these days. One event that I'm highlighting from that is Split Second Takeover at the Marigold, which is a really cool bar. They got like a ton of cool plants. You could buy plants in there, nice drinks. Split Second is a really cool DJ group that, I've been getting to know over these past few months. Cool DJs like Garrettson Street, Andy Immerman, Joey Byrne going to be playing at the Marigold this Friday from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. 2721 Welton Street. The entire neighborhood's going to be filled with, live bands, big energy, live events happening. So definitely go check out. If you haven't done a First Friday in a while, check out First Friday in 5 Points.
Cool.
Honor the roots and enjoy the fruits.
I like it. It rhymes, so it must be true.
Yeah, definitely. So that's going on. On top of that, I'll hop down to it's actually going to be Denver Arts Week. So that's starting November 7th. So starting this week and going all the way through the 16th, celebrating Mile High City's arts and culture scene with hundreds of events around the city. You can hit up visitdenver.com/denver-arts-week. And there's a million things happening. One of those things is free museum day, free night at the museum, actually, on November 8th. So go check out some free museum nights. There's so many events that I can't even really get into all of them. But, riding on the First Friday Arts train, it's going to be full on Arts Week. So that First Friday everywhere is going to be big this week, starting November 7th. So yeah, they have a whole list of the different First Friday art walks locations that you can hit up.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, that looks really cool. I mean, the newsletter last week was like all Halloween stuff. I mean, I love how Denver goes all out and goes ham for Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. Our friends over at Mockingbird Club in Rhino on Larimer Street. Mockingbird's turning 1 year old. That's going to be a celebration on Sunday, November 9th, starting at 5 p.m. They have a happy hour 5 to 8 p.m. for a little Sunday action, and then music from 5 p.m. to closing late, no cover, 1 year of flight, and the many nights still to come. So shout out to them. We love Mockingbird over here. Some of our best events happen over there. And then Thursday, Bass Bingo with Wonky Willow, a talent show happening over at the Larimer Lounge Treehouse. Bass Bingo is one of the most popular events happening every week now, every
You say
Thursday.
base bingo?
Bass bingo. They will be playing bass music and playing bingo at the same time. They have prizes. All the prizes typically end up being like tickets to popular shows that are sold out, all dance music tickets and stuff. Pretty bass focused, but any type of dance music or cool concert coming up there. Usually raffling off bingo prizes as in the form of tickets to those events. And then this one is going to be with Wonky Willow, who's a really big bass DJ. I mean, they usually have huge DJs coming through for these, but Wonky Willow, he's got the 2 nights sold out at the Ogden on January 16th and 17th, where he brings this circus around with him, and it looks like Bass Bingo this week. There's going to be a talent show, and the winner will have the opportunity to perform on stage during his shows in January. So super cool.
Yeah.
This is one of the biggest new events happening around town every Thursday's Bass Bingo. So anyone who's in that scene might already know about it. And then the last thing, I had two more quick things. Veterans Day parade is happening this week on Saturday, November 8th. Denver City Park is where they're going to have a big festival for Veterans Day, and it's going to be the 16th annual Veterans Day Run, Festival, and Parade. So
Cool.
if you want to go celebrate that, it seems like they're going to have some really cool stuff happening over at City Park. A bunch of different events and activities to check out. 5K, 10K run, parade, and just a bunch of fundraising type activities, cool stuff. You can hit up denverveteransday.com.
And it's on a Tuesday, is that right? Did I hear?
Veterans Day this year.
I mean, maybe I'm tripping because Heidi was like, Veterans Day is on Tuesday. I was like, what? I never heard of that before.
Yeah, I thought it was usually Monday, but it says November 11th. Is it always? Yeah, it's always on November 11th, I assume.
Okay. Oh, it's no. Okay, yeah,
Tuesday, November 11th this year.
that's cool.
But the events happening over at City Park are going to be on Saturday, November 8th.
Nice.
And then just threw a fun speed dating event in there for all the singles because I haven't been to this bar yet. It sounds pretty cool. It's called The Passport, 1437 Market Street. That's going to be November 8th, Saturday again, starting at 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Early speed dating. Rev up your social life. Yeah, it seems like it would be an interesting one to check out. So datefaster.com is putting it on at the, what's it called again? The Passport Denver on Market Street. So there's a fun speed dating event. Anyone who's looking for that, you got to go on there and register for $11.
Nice. There was a thread a couple weeks ago on Reddit where a guy went to 4 different speed dating events, and I guess you do it all the dates or whatever, and then like at the end you see if you were matched with anybody, and he had 0 matches
Oh
in
no.
4 different events. But people were really encouraging to him. They're like, "Hey man, you hang in there. Don't worry about it. Don't be discouraged."
You'll find something. Yeah, I guess that's how it works. You go and do all your speed dates, and then you can kind of put in if you want to see someone again.
Don't act like you don't know, Tom.
I don't know. I'm a spoken for man.
Yeah,
Um,
apparently that's what I learned. So like you go and maybe you have like a little scorecard, probably how we're like judging the food festivals, and you're
yeah.
like Tom, 5 gold stars. And then at the end you
Nice.
turn it in and whoever has 5 gold stars, something like that. But like it was kind of a sad story, but it was fun. It was kind of fun because the results were like not great, but like his enthusiasm for the events was pretty good. They were like very good breakdowns of like what you could expect at some of these events.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might need to have some recon at one of these events and see what's really going down because I'm not too familiar.
Yeah. Nice, man. Cool. That's some good stuff. Um,
Definitely.
I wanted to lead with what is becoming quickly the smash hit of the newsletter, which is the jobs. So basically, every week on the newsletter, we're going to feature some jobs that are available in Denver, and then a
Mm,
link where you can sign up um, to get a customized job feed for you. Now, I think what's
nice.
interesting about this is it's realgooddenver.com/jobs where you can go, and this is going to be all for Denver, Colorado jobs. But basically, what's really cool about it is that this is a friend of mine, and so this is like a partnership we're doing with JobStream, where they're testing out this new AI kind of job qualification tool, and they're using the podcast newsletter in Denver to do it. So I think where it's unique is that a lot of these jobs are stuff that they're like kind of farming independently that aren't you're not going to find on like all the major job boards. They're not on LinkedIn, it's not on Indeed. These are kind of off the beaten path, and they're really specializing in some pretty like sophisticated work. So if people are looking for like a novel place to find new job opportunities, realgooddenver.com/jobs. You can sign up and they'll actually email you when jobs are available that match your attributes so you can get in there
Mm,
first.
nice.
So it's been cool because, like I think I just got feedback from JobStream that there was like 40 clicks on one particular like job posting, and it's really cool. So, with the newsletter, we're able to feature some kind of like some new posts every week, but also, if you want to just get your personalized feed, you can check that out. So I'm really interested to see like if this is kind of a good format because it seems like honestly, a lot of the job posts on like all the normal places are kind of fugazi, and like it's hard to even you just hear the horror stories of people submitting 1,000 resumes and never getting an interview. So
Yeah,
I think that's kind of like what JobStream is trying to like alleviate is like, hey, let's find specialists and let's find generalists and put them in the right positions. So
sure.
far, I think it's working pretty good.
Nice. That sounds cool. So people can get involved with that by being on the newsletter and they'll get a link. Is that how we're going to do it?
100%. Yeah, in the newsletter, we're kind of leading with like 4 or 5 jobs, and you can sign up for it. So keep an eye out for that. Realgooddenver.com. While we've been quiet with the podcast, we've been humming on the newsletter, which has been really cool.
Yeah.
The last couple of weeks, I was like, you know what? I want to give shout outs and see who's on here. I think we've got probably 27,000 subs on the newsletter. And so I just said, hey, roll call. If you want me to promote your company, like we'll give you a link and a shout out. So many people reached out, which was really
Sweet.
cool because it was like a pretty like interesting swath of different folks in the Denver community that are like kind of contributing to the podcast, just to name a
Awesome.
couple of them. Let's see. I had a couple. No, oh wait, here it is. Here it is. So I mentioned Aiken Capital, MotorStreet360.com. Shout to them. Amarcy.love. She has this like beautiful website and sells like really cool crystals. And you know what a gigantic crystal hippie I am. So I was immediately like, ooh, amethyst. Maybe I need
Nice.
to check that out.
Sweet. We'll have
Um,
to, all these ones, Ryan, if you have them listed somewhere, we'll put them all in the description this week.
cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome. We also got a great shout out from Colorado Film and Media Industry Town Hall. So, the Colorado Film and Media Town Hall is continuation of a community-led aim to foster statewide collaboration between media and creative professionals. So
Mm,
essentially, they're doing like the big Colorado film festivals coming up, but they have kind of like they're wanting to get feedback on how they can make it like a really cool I don't know, event. So they're doing like events in Denver and Fort Collins and Grand Junction and Pueblo, Colorado Springs, Boulder, the entire state, to do a virtual Zoom call where they can see how they can make it a better event. And this is something that I've been thinking more and more about because we've been talking about like all the vibe coding stuff, and the vibe coding event Tom and I go to is alternating Wednesdays at id345.com,
mm-hmm.
but they just like now they're doing every other Wednesday down there is going to be generative AI stuff,
Yeah.
So I suppose how I'm connecting the dots here is like I want to make AI movies, because
Yeah.
why not? It's like the tools are getting so good that pretty soon, like you'll have consistency between camera angles. I mean, we've already seen like videos people are doing that are unbelievably cool,
Mm-hmm.
So we're
Yeah,
getting to a place where like an absolute amateur that knows nothing about film, like me, it's like maybe I need to submit to some film festivals. It
for
could be
sure.
really cool.
Yeah, I've been seeing ridiculous stuff come up through those generative AI. And now with Sora and stuff, you can't even tell what's
Yeah,
real and what's not on social media. Um,
totally.
unless you're like you have a trained eye, sometimes it even gets me. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff happening at that generative AI meetup. I'm sure now that they've broken it off from the main AI meetup. So anyone who's
Yeah,
interested in
man.
that, it'll all be through the id345.com website that you could sign up to get notifications about that.
Yeah, dude, the generative AI stuff is getting me too. It was funny because just last night I was like looking at TikTok. I was like, "Oh, sweetheart, look at this Chihuahua was adopted by a pack of wolves."
Yeah, right.
It was like game cam footage, and Heidi was like, "Oh yeah, that's really real, isn't it?" And I was like, "Oh my God, yeah. How would they have game?" But I just wanted it to be real because it looks so cute. It was like these like wolves, black and white in a game
Mm-hmm.
camera, and then here comes like a little like Chihuahua with them. It's like, damn it, they got me.
Mm-hmm. You gotta watch out. It's gonna get only
Oh,
gonna get harder to tell them apart. So.
I know. I know. So why not be on the ground level, ground floor stuff? I mean, it could be cool. I don't know what your take. Like I've been playing with the music stuff a lot. I find it highly irritating for some reason. I can't really, I think because it doesn't respond to the prompts with, if you to look at like Udio or 11 Labs, 11 Labs new like music generator is really cool, but
Mm.
it's still, you could be like, okay, I want boom bap style instrumentals with like vibraphone and Fender Rhodes, and it'll
Mm-hmm.
instrumental, and then it'll like have some like lady singing in the background.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's so irritating, you
Yeah,
know?
that stuff's not quite ready yet, but you can use it to generate stuff that like you can use in your production, Like if you wanted to just say like Fender Rhodes riff or whatever, it'll give you something and then you can go and sample that, but it's not to the point where someone's going to just be typing prompts and become a famous music producer because of AI. Like we're not there yet.
Yeah. Well, and you can download the stems too, which is kind of crazy. So you can get the whole composition. And if you're like, okay, if you have the time,
Mm-hmm.
but you're like, I don't want that lady singing, but like I do like the Rhodes part. You pull that off and either
Yeah.
use that for another composition or pull that into whatever you're working on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty cool. I think ultimately though, it's like trying to like figure out constraints on projects. I mean, I just lose my mind. It's like it used to be like, well, I've got these two guitars, so guess what my song's gonna sound like? These two guitars.
Yeah.
But now, there's no constraints, so you just kind of drown in like decision fatigue
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I'm trying to, that's what I've been thinking a lot about is like if I want to make some movies, like how do you put constraints on like the tool and the prompt so that you can get something consistent, but also something that's not going to be competing with like what everybody's expectations are?
Yeah.
Like if you try and make like a Pixar movie, people are going to notice that it's when it's wrong. Or if you
Mm-hmm.
try and make something super hyper realistic, they're going to notice when the leading gal has 17 knuckles on her hand or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
You
But
know.
yeah, the project that we saw Danny present last time I was over there was really cool, where it's really focused on the character consistency and stuff, and keeping
Yeah.
keeping like the same character through different scenes and movies, because that was like one of the hardest things to get it to do. You'll just have like your main character will be different in every shot.
He's getting close, man. So shout to Danny and his tool. We should give him a shout out. Do you remember the name of what he's building? What it's called?
I think I can get it here.
Oh, I got it. It's onceupon.fun. Onceupon.fun.
Once upon dot fun.
But check out what I made. This is using his tool, and it's like $5, and it's pretty dope. Here, I'm gonna share the screen. Let's see. Okay. I don't know if the audio will come in, but it's really quick. Let's just try it.
It might. We'll see.
Let's see.
The mountain lion's gift. In the enchanting forest of Evergreen Valley, young Bee, a brave and curious adventurer, explored with boundless
Oh,
wonder.
So it's kind of a lion.
Today,
we're not
as the
seeing
morning
it
sun
for some
painted the
reason
sky
on.
with golden
Oh,
hues,
you're not seeing it?
I
Bee
can see it
ventured
on
into
Zoom, but I
the green
can't
woods,
see it on
eager for discovery.
our
Suddenly,
thing here.
a
It's just
magical shimmer danced through the
Oh,
trees.
dang.
A majestic
if you
mountain
can
lion
share the
appeared,
link,
its
maybe I
eyes
could
wide and
do that.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I'll upload it and we'll come back to it. I thought it came out really cool. And there's like one particular transition, So I kind of I just used the story of like when I went hunting with my daughter and we saw like the mountain lion prints and like it
Hmm.
was cool. But like there's this really cool transition phase where like she turns into a mountain lion. I was like, dude, that is pretty dope. I'm gonna upload it.
Yeah, I got the website up right now.
Um,
Yeah, the stuff looks really good from this. It's like insanely cool.
yeah.
This is so Danny, who created this, was using it for bedtime stories for his son, and apparently he loved them so much
the
that he's
mountain
wanting a
lion
new one every night.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah. I talked to this other guy. I mean, like this whole kind of genre of entertainment, totally customized, personalized entertainment, I think is like it's super fascinating for me. There's another one called Dream Stories AI, and this is like kind of a similar idea, but this actually you produce a book.
Mm,
So you like he's got some templates, you upload your kid's picture, and then you like put him in the picture, put him in the story. Dude, this guy this guy sells these for 60 bucks a pop and has sold 100,000 of them.
wow.
Yeah, he's in like Portugal. And I was like, "Wait, what?" And he's doing it just like, with meta ads. So he's just like selling the idea through meta ads and is just absolutely killing it. I'm like, "Dude, this is going to be like gigantic because to that point, like, I mean, with the book, of course, it's like, let's say like you spent $60 customer acquisition to get somebody to buy one book, but immediately when the kid sees it, they want the next one. And then you have a series, you know,
Yeah. Once you
cool business
order
model.
2 to 3 hours to prepare your draft, choose your favorite images, request edits, or cancel. Nothing prints until you love it. Yeah, I mean, this looks really cool. And the videos, kids look like they love it.
Totally. I mean, you don't need a more compelling, like, video. Like, the kids are going absolutely bananas because why wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm. It's
It's
them
like, yeah,
in
it's
the
like
books.
they've read Goodnight Moon 727 times, and now they're like, oh my gosh, I'm in the story. It's so cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I'm sure it's only going to get more and more opportunity for similar types of products, and people who are here
Yeah.
doing it now are going to reap the benefits for sure.
Yeah. Super interesting. Um, so
Nice.
anyway, shout out to those guys.
Yeah, really cool.
I had a couple of things. I just wanted to give a shout out to coloradosun.com. They're just like some of the best journalists in Colorado right now. But there's a crazy story they've got. 70 years ago, Colorado man plotted to kill his mother, how he carried it out and shocked the nation. So
Whoa,
this guy took down a plane over Weld County that killed 44 people. My gosh. He was like
jeez,
one of the first like hijack guys.
really?
1955. Crashed east of Longmont. Anyway, it was a really cool read. Go to Colorado Sun and check them out. Let me see if I had a couple other events here. Yeah, everything's about Denver Arts Week this week.
Yeah.
So they're really exciting about a bunch of new programming there. So that sounds really cool. I know there's the bunch of stuff going on in Rhino. I got some I got some press releases from some folks. So sorry, shout out I wasn't able to get it onto the list this week. But there's a bunch going on in Rhino. Um, and let's see if I have. Okay, yeah, this
Definitely.
was the one. Vera Rubin, who's going to be at the observatory. Wait, this is saying at Odell Sloan's Lake. Okay, they're at the Odell. Okay, I see what it is. Okay, Vera Rubin from astronomer to observatory. Kind of scratching my science itch. That's going to be at
Yeah,
Odell's over by Sloan's Lake, 1625 Perry. Um, that's tonight in about an hour and a half. If anybody wants to run over there, but
cool.
that sounds like really cool because he's an astronaut.
Well,
So.
nice.
So that's all I got, Tom. Dude, it's great to be back, man. How I'm thinking like since we've got the giant hole in our chest from losing Troy, I think we
Yeah.
do more interviews. I have to find out with what happened with Bert because I know he was scheduled, but maybe he didn't get my invitation or Bart, pardon me, get Bart over here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe we bring in the third. Do you think we do the interview first and then do events and stuff afterwards, or do you like bringing people in halfway?
I think bringing them in halfway is really good, and I think starting off with our, news stories and developing stories and events first is really good because I know we have people who are most interested in that stuff, and they could come in and listen to it, and then it'll be like stick around for the interview if you want to hear that as well. So I think that
That's
that's
a
a
good
really
idea.
good structure moving forward because I
Okay.
feel like oftentimes if in previous seasons if we were taking too long to get into the events, people might be falling off because they didn't get to hear what they came for. So we'll stick to
Good
events
idea.
first and then hit into whatever's next.
Stick events and then get to it, unless there's some really egregious stuff happening in sports, and then we have to lead with sports.
Yeah, you could do that.
But
We can always hit the sports. That's fine. We got to honor Troy's legacy by keeping that
exactly,
going.
exactly. But yeah, I like that. Events, um, developing Denver, that stuff is great.
Mm-hmm.
We could do a little bit of news, maybe some news after that.
Sure.
People really like the volunteer opportunities. We should bring that to the podcast because people are always asking about
Yeah,
that.
and shout
Um,
outs from people reaching out to us. We'll always do those. So anybody who wants
yeah,
to send those over to us, but we'll put into the description all the details Ryan was talking about things you can do with the newsletter and this AI
yeah,
stuff, the job matching and everything. We'll put all that into the description so people could click and get registered and sign up for that because it's I've been looking through the job market and it's not easy. So I
yeah.
feel for him.
Yeah, totally. And ultimately, I think it's really cool because it's like a pilot program.
Mm-hmm.
Like JobStream is a super cool company that just is an offshoot from this legacy like recruiting firm, and they're doing like this really cutting edge AI stuff.
Yeah.
So, I love feeding them, and they're are feeding them our folks that are looking for good opportunities. And
Yeah.
last week was like 6 opportunities at Raytheon. So I was like, well,
Mm,
I mean, you get them where you can get them.
yeah, seriously. I mean,
Yeah,
who
super
knows?
cool.
Maybe we got some big defense people
Yeah,
listening.
totally. You need those defense engineers, man.
Definitely.
You know?
All right, sweet. Well,
Okay.
we'll get this up, and anyone who wants to shout out, reach out to us, socials, newsletter, whatever it is, and we'll be back next week.
Back in the pocket. Thanks, Tom. This was awesome.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. See ya.
Later.
Bye.